We actually started working pre-production for this album in June of last year. So it's been, I guess, like, we didn't actually officially start a tour until July, but it's been over a year now, and we generally tour anywhere between 13 and 16 months on an album cycle. But we're going to switch it up, and we're really in songwriting mode, so we're going to take some time off to continue songwriting for the next record.
Yeah, typically we would continue on. I mean, when you're building your career and you're just kind of coming up, you kind of don't have the luxury of taking time off because you're paranoid and terrified that everyone will forget you. And between our last two records, we were able to actually take a substantial break, which was so healthy for us. And I think that it really inspired so much more because we had the time to sit at home and record. And I think with the Con record cycle, as Sara said, it's been over a year since we started the actual touring and rehearsal part of it. But I mean, we were making the record last January, so it's been a year and a half really of working consistently. So it's really nice to be able to take time and write, and we've been able to do that all year. It's unlike other records where we just toured the whole time. We were able to take a month or two off here and there, and that's like kept us in a creative place, which is to me the best thing that we've achieved with this record, which is allowing ourselves to not just burn out, take a long break, and then write songs because it's time to go back to work. It's like when I finish a tour, I actually feel like we've only been out for 3 weeks, and I can't wait to be done in 2 days because I'm going to get to write songs, rather than how I was years ago where I was like, I am going to smash my guitar and just avoid music for a month because we've been out for 6. So I think we're getting into a healthier rhythm with old age.
I think that we've gone from being a record industry just back to a music industry. I think that originally you wrote songs, and the idea that you could record them, they were sort of, I guess the point of the recorded audio was to get people to come out and see you play music live. And now you kind of almost have, I'm sorry, am I boring?
No, I'm sorry. It's about nap time. Just go to a split screen and then put Big Bird next where I'm sitting.
I try to just pretend. I'm not interested in
I'm sorry.
I try to pretend.
Can we do a poll of the room? Is anyone here able to stop a yawn? We don't even know what causes yawn. There was not even a covering. There wasn't even a movement to cover the yawn. I thought this would be more obvious if I was like, instead I was like, I turned my arm. I'm trying to angle it. Relax.
I think that we've gone back, at least the kind of band that we are, where we're a touring band. We don't look at the record industry as just a way to sell records. We're out there playing music live and writing songs, and we're able to sort of now rely on television and movies and radio and the internet, and we own our own merchandising company, and so we rely on that to also provide sort of, there's just these ancillary revenue streams that are able to help us branch out, and we don't rely so much on selling the actual audio as a CD in that format anymore. However, the music lover, we are young, but we were teenagers in the 90s, and we saved up our allowance to buy CDs every week. That's what you did, and there's still this part of me that thinks that there must be some part of our audience that still wants that, and so we'll continue to make records for the people that want them. You have to be able to, the people that are going to succeed in this new industry are people who are going to look at their audience and decide what is a reasonable number, that you put in marketing, or how many records. Don't make, 50,000 records if realistically you only sold 12,000 of your last one. Just keeping everything not so bloated, and when Tegan and I were starting out, we would literally make these cassette tapes, and we would make, a box. What was in a box? 60? Because we were like, well, we could sell 60 of these puppies, and we would, take our box of cassette tapes, and we would be $1, $1. We never made more than we knew we could sell, and that's how we approach, the actual, product part of the industry. But the truth is still about songwriting.
Yeah, and not much has changed for our band. Our model definitely is the model people are using now, but even back when people still cared about records, and we never made any money off of record sales. I was just saying in the car on the ride here, we've been making records for 10 years, and we have never recouped because the costs are so huge.
In America.
Yeah, in America. It's just so huge, here, the amount of money and how big it is and budgets, and you have to make your money elsewhere, and really, we've been so lucky because we were forced to make our money touring. We have an amazing relationship with our audience, and we have the flexibility to do so many different things because we aren't so constrained by, this, as Sara said, bloated industry that sometimes takes over an artist's career. And I think that, one thing that has stayed consistent in the past 10 years is our budgets are really reasonable. We're always being streamlined. we always have an objective for a tour. We want to get to this level. We want to sell this many tickets. We want to play this size venue. This is who we're going to add in terms of crew. At the beginning of this record, we said we wanted to add a monitor person and a lighting person. Those were the 2 additional employees. And this record has done so amazing, and we could have definitely hired more people than that, but we stuck to that, and I think that's how we've remained successful. And again, because we've been able to stay happy and healthy and fed and successful, we're able to keep a really great relationship with our audience because we're not trying to take advantage of them. We're not trying to double dip and re-release, something with like an extra bonus track or a different cover so we can make extra money. I mean, the industry's it's always having to recreate itself, but I think with Sara and I, we just naturally are recreating ourselves with each record, and there's no pressure on us to perform more than what we've set out for a record or a tour cycle or whatever. Well, thank God we were able to have the foresight not to sign to a major when we were 18 years old. We were 18-year-old twin lesbian Canadian girls, that would have been marketed in a way that would have destroyed all credibility and substance behind our music. So we were absolutely ready to navigate a relationship with a
But I actually kind of remember when we first started looking for a record deal with our independent record, and it wasn't like we had major label interest. No one was interested in us. The only label that was actually interested in us was Vapor Records, and it was Neil Young's imprint out of California. Like 3 people working in the office. There was like trains and a giant poster of Devo, and we were like, these are the only people that cared about us at the time, and we were like, this feels like a good fit. It's super casual. They're talking long-term career goals, that kind of stuff. I don't know what would have happened if, like Tegan said, maybe we would have been exploited or turned into something that was embellished.
We never went and solicited that world.
We just never did. There was just no interest. Nobody was coming to us, knocking on our door.
No one was coming to us, but most bands don't have anyone come to them. You go out and play and do this. We just never, that wasn't even in our vocabulary. It was nothing. We did not aspire to fame and fortune. We just fallen into this career of making music. It felt like all of a sudden we were getting paid to do something we thought was kind of cool. And it's that kind of naive of us that we just entered into this business not really knowing anything. But because we weren't going after major labels and because we weren't aspiring to be famous and rich in 2 seconds, we didn't have a lot of people around us trying to push us or taking from us. We just had a few really great people down in California that wanted to put records out for us, so we had to learn a lot, and we took care of ourselves a lot. We didn't have management for the first couple of years we were putting out records, and that, to me, now, I don't even know how, I remember this trip where we flew down to the States and did some shows, played Letterman, and then we went to Japan. We didn't have management, and I'm we didn't have visas. I can barely function now, and I have a whole team of people around me and 10 years of knowledge on that trip, and I'm still we did it, because, you do it, you sink or swim, and I think now that we're on a major label, it's okay. Because we do have, as you said, we've had this grassroots career. We've created this relationship with our audience. We have a very, very good understanding of business and our business specifically and how our organization works. And we've created so many walls around us so that no one is taking advantage of us. We hand over finished records. While I respect a lot of the people that we work with outside of our little circle, be it label people or publishers and even our own band and organization. The fact is that when I'm writing a song, I'm going to be doing it in a room alone or maybe with Sara, but I'm not going to be doing it with a group or a crowd with them giving their insight. That's just going to, really screw it up, I think, because it's going to stop being my voice. It's going to start being everyone else's voice, and I think Sara and I have proved after 10 years with, continued success that it's our voices, when it comes to the music and when it comes to the marketing of that music. And so some people would call us control freaks, but I just think it's our vision. We love it. When you love something, you want to, you're not going to take your kid out to the mall and just, let someone really cool looking or really interesting who has a great idea raise your kid for you. They're yours. It's your baby. You want to be in charge of how it ends up going out into the world, and I think that's how we look at our music. I mean, we don't own it, but it's still, we love it, and we want to take good care